Souls-like games continue to grow, with new titles pushing darker worlds, tougher combat, and deeper character builds. These upcoming titles promise brutal boss fights, mysterious lore, and challenging exploration. Let's get into it. Code Vein 2 is an action RPG where the player controls a revenant hunter and travels between present and past timelines with a girl named Lou who can manipulate time. Combat revolves around close-range battles, reading enemy patterns, and using a blood-draining system to absorb power and activate special skills. The build system allows weapons and abilities to be customized to suit different fighting styles. Partner characters accompany the player in combat, providing support abilities and influencing certain events tied to the story. Lords of the Fallen 2 takes place 100 years after the previous game and puts the player into a dark fantasy land divided into 4 distinct biomes. Combat is designed to be faster and more fluid, with a detailed dismemberment system that changes how enemies react during fights. The game includes 7 enemy factions and large boss encounters, including creatures like a flying dragon. It supports solo play, shared progression co-op, and PvP, with combat systems and mechanics adjusted using feedback from the earlier title.
No matter the cost.
It's a sin.
Forgive me.
I trust you'll be able to rid us of this crucible.
Nioh 3 is a dark samurai action RPG set in an alternate warring states period where the player fights bandits and yokai across large open fields. Combat allows seamless switching between samurai and ninja styles, letting the player alternate between direct weapon attacks and faster technique-based moves during battles. Encounters take place in hostile villages and dangerous areas influenced by a force known as the Crucible, where the player must manage stamina, timing, and weapon skills to survive against powerful enemies.
None shall interfere with my cause! Become a spirit stone!
Death spares neither god nor man.
Mistfall Hunter is a third-person PvPvE extraction RPG, where players enter dangerous zones alone or in small teams to defeat monsters, gather loot, and escape before losing their rewards. Combat mixes melee weapons and magic, using a precision aiming system that targets enemy weak points and chains attacks into combos. Players choose from 5 classes, each with different weapons, skills, and talents, and can switch between 2 combat styles during fights. Builds are shaped through gear upgrades, affixes, and passive abilities, while each run requires careful coordination and a safe extraction to keep collected resources.
Or lose it all to the night. In spite of the horrors of the mist, do you dare hope? Then let the hunt.
Phantom Blade Zero is an action RPG where the player controls Soul, a warrior with 66 days left to live after being framed for his master's death. Combat uses fast martial arts attacks with more than 30 weapons and over 20 Phantom Edge abilities that can be combined into different movesets. Defeated enemies can drop their weapons and techniques, expanding the player's options. Missions reveal a conspiracy, while battles take place across shifting locations. Valor Mortis is a first-person Souls-like action game where the player controls William, a fallen soldier brought back to life with a supernatural plague inside his body. Combat is built around parries, dashes, and finishing moves, with different weapons and powers that enhance attacks. Each death allows the player to grow stronger and unlock new abilities. Levels take place across a corrupted version of 19th century Europe, where mobility skills help avoid enemies and uncover useful resources.
This isn't war. This is damnation.
An old soldier's pendant.
The Relic First Guardian is an action RPG where the player takes the role of the Last Guardian and uses relics that carry memories and passive effects to shape combat abilities. Progression comes from equipping these relics, which can alter skills, weapon styles, and overall combat rhythm. Attacks do not consume stamina, while dodging and defense rely on it, and skills work on cooldowns instead of resource costs. The game features 5 weapon types, 12 skill trees, unique equipment, and more than 70 boss encounters.
Though the steps never returned, their waiting became the wind that circles the hill. Only the pinwheel remembers the love of a family.
Fatekeeper is a first-person action RPG where the player fights with melee weapons and spells across areas such as battlegrounds, caverns, forests, and ruined sanctuaries. Combat requires reacting to enemy patterns, combining sword attacks with precise magic, and adjusting tactics during fights. Character growth comes from choosing attributes, combat styles, and spell schools that shape different builds. Weapons, armor, and relics can be collected and combined to create loadouts that handle tougher enemies.
Alumak hokre orituma. Tagaun kal dokushi washikotan. Utan katawan shi. Utan Fatekeeper. はるか昔、この国に輪廻の獣が現れた。
Beast of Reincarnation is an action RPG set in a ruined Japan where the player controls Emma alongside her canine companion, Ku. Combat is built around demanding, technical encounters that require precise timing and coordination between the two characters. As they move through shifting forests and corrupted lands, their bond unlocks new abilities that change how battles and movement work. Progress depends on mastering combat mechanics and adapting to the dangers found across the changing regions.
"西暦4026年、人類は滅亡を待つのみ。封じ子エマ、お前こそが輪廻の獣を滅ぼす刃となる。
The Duskbloods is a multiplayer action RPG where up to 8 players take part in matches that mix PvP and PvE combat. Players choose from more than a dozen Bloodsworn characters, each with different weapons, abilities, and roles that set specific objectives during a match. Victory points are earned through combat or strategic actions, and matches end when only one player remains. Rewards gained after each match are used to customize characters and adjust their abilities, appearance, and roles.
O wheel. And transport him to a night of moonlight, to humanity's very dusk.
Close your eyes and contemplate now the moon, as befits the soon-to-depart.
I pray that you are able, carrier of blood.
will flow for one, and one alone.
Knight's Path is a story-driven action RPG where the player controls Ulrich, a disgraced noble who must train and earn his place as a knight. Combat is based on historical European martial arts, using stances, timing, parries, and precise weapon control instead of fast arcade-style moves. Progression is tied to practice, with animations and techniques improving as skills grow. Armor changes both protection and status, while quests, factions, sieges, and tournaments shape how the world responds to the player. Shadows of the Lost is a dark fantasy action RPG where the player controls a lone adventurer using shadow powers against corrupted gods and creatures. Combat uses a momentum system where successful attacks, parries, and timed blocks build strength while mistakes reduce it. Players can recruit companions who provide support abilities and personal storylines during battles. Character attributes can be customized to suit different fighting styles, and progression leads to major boss encounters across regions inspired by mythological settings. Spark in the Dark is a dark fantasy dungeon crawler where the player descends through a vast underground dungeon filled with monsters, traps, and hidden areas. 5 hero classes offer different skills, and abilities improve through repeated use during combat and environmental interactions. Equipment can be damaged, repaired, or altered by blessings, curses, and injuries. Parts of the dungeon, enemies, and loot are procedurally generated, creating different encounters each time the player enters the depths.